Okay, we're going to look at 7.4 again. I want you to look at example 1. Here I have 6x plus 5y equals 19 and 2x plus 3y equals 5. Notice how the x and y values do not match up, so I can easily eliminate them. But there is a way that we can do that. I'm going to look for the lowest common multiple between 6 and 2 or 5 and 3. Now because 6 is the lowest common multiple between 6 and 2, it's going to be easier to deal with than if we're going to deal with 5 and 3. Because I know 2 will go into 6 3 times. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply everything in the second equation by 3 in order to make them both 6. But I need 1 to be a negative, so I'm going to multiply everything by negative 3. So we're going to bring down equation 1. And then I'm going to bring down equation 2, but multiply everything by negative 3. So we're going to have negative 6x plus, actually it would be negative, because we're multiplying everything by negative 3, negative 9y equals negative 15. Okay, so now this will cancel. This will become negative 4y. 19 minus 15 equals 4. Divide both sides by negative 4, and y equals negative 1. Now we're going to take that negative 1 and sub it into our first equation. 6x plus 5 times negative 1 equals 19. We're going to solve for y. 6x, 5 times negative 1 is negative 5 equals 19. We will add 5 to both sides. So now we get 6x equals 19 plus 5 is 24. Divide everything by 6. And x is equal to 4. Because 6 times 4 is 24. So my answer here will be 4 and negative 1. Okay, I want you to go ahead and go through the guided practice, and then we're going to work out the guided practice from number 1. Okay, hopefully you went through it and you did okay. I'm going to go ahead and work out the guided practice from 1. Here I'm just going to multiply everything in the second equation by 3. Because it's a positive and a negative, I don't actually have to change the signs in this one. So we're going to have 6x minus 2y equals 1. And then negative 6x plus 9y equals 15. This will cancel. Negative 2 positive 9 is equal to 7y. And then 1 and 15, or excuse me, negative 15, because that should have been negative 5, equals negative 14. So y equals negative 2. Now I'm going to sub it into my first equation. 6x, 2 times negative 2 equals 1. That would be 6x plus 4 equals 1. We're going to subtract the 4 from both sides. 6x equals negative 3. Divide everything by 6, and x equals negative 0.5, or negative 1/2. So my answer for both of these will be negative 0.5 and then negative 2. Now, I'd like for you to go ahead and look at example 3. Example 3 on page 453, it tells me that Darlene is making a quilt that has alternating strips of regular quilting fabric and sateen fabric. She spent $76 on a total of 16 yards of 2 fabrics at the same fabric store. Which system of equations can be used to find the amount X in yards of the regular quilting fabric and Y of the sateen fabric that she purchased? Well, first of all, we know that when we take the regular fabric and the sateen fabric and add them together, we get $76. Okay, now we're going to break it down. We know that we spent $4 a yard for the regular fabric, and then we spent $6 a yard for the sateen, which equals 76. And I'm sorry, we got a total of 16 yards. I read the problem wrong. So now I have my system of equations that I can solve here. So the total number of yards of regular fabric plus the total number of yards of sateen equals 16 yards. $4 per yard of regular fabric plus $6 per yard of regular fabric equals a total of $76. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and multiply everything in my first equation by negative 4, and we're going to solve for y first. So we'll have negative 4x, negative 4y equals, and then 16 times 4, that would be 24, carry your 2, negative 64. Now I'm going to bring down the other equation. This will cancel. Negative 4, positive 6 is positive 2y. And then negative 64, positive 76 equals 12, and we see y equals 6. Okay, so I'm just going to double check that. B. Well, actually just ask for the two equations, but we'll go ahead and solve them. And then we're going to take that and sub it into either equation. I'll sub it into the first. X plus 6 equals 16. Subtract your 6 from both sides, and x equals 10. So our answer would be 10 and 6. So we got the equations and we solved them. Okay, so there you go.